Vista aérea de una casa en una colina.
When Chris first moved in, I felt like he could be the next piece of the puzzle. And I felt like Chris wanted to be the next piece of the puzzle because he displayed a desire to be there.
It's almost like a strange first date where you're just like, I don't know you, you don't know me, someone's facilitating this meeting and it could potentially change our lives.
Familia recogiendo fruta en su jardín.
When I moved in, it was challenging. It was like, it's my fifth home. So I was taking things slowly. I was a little more reserved, a little more, I gotta be on my best behavior, you know, to stay here.
Chris is a very responsible kid, and he's a very intelligent young man too. And when we met him, he was coming off a rhythm where he had straight D's. F's. We just gave him an assignment that you have to have all this stuff signed off by your teachers that you're getting it done. And by the end of 8th grade, he went from a DF student and he became an AB student.
Familia preparando comida en la cocina.
As a foster youth, nothing is in your hands with the school moves and there's different social workers and my 5 different placements. Being out of control is hard. It's powerless. You're in a position of vulnerability. Around junior year, I joined California Youth Connections, and it drew me in because it felt like an aspect of family with the youth that had the shared experience. It was like they want to hear me speak, they want me in the room. And I loved that. And I became our chapter president, and it was nice, like, oh, I'm getting some power back. In a time, in a space where I, as a foster youth, didn't have a lot of power.
Chris was 16 when I first met him. I was attending California Youth Connection meetings, and I remember thinking that this kid is older beyond his years. He was very articulate, very kind and outspoken, definitely had a purpose, and he was living his purpose of improving the foster care system.
He felt important. He really grabbed a hold of something where he felt like, I can make a mark here. And I think that was really pivotal in his journey.
And senior year, he just started like taking it easy. And
I was on the phone, I was using tech all the time, you know, watching Netflix.
And his grades had slipped and we saw some D's. I was like, what in the world, D's on your report card?
They switched my phone to a flip phone. And that was awful. Could you imagine you're a senior in high school and all of a sudden you come in one day with a flip phone? Oh my gosh. I didn't know what to do. I was so embarrassed, I was so frustrated.
It felt like he had his arm cut off.
And that's when I started fighting against the family and fighting a way into that self-independence. And I saw Diana and I was like, hey, you work at the county, right? Didn't know what she did at the time. Well, I'm having these troubles with my social worker, with my foster parents. I don't know what to do. And I was butting heads with my parents, and I had this flip phone now, I'm very frustrated. And she was like, oh, why don't we just have a CFT, Child Family Team Meeting. I didn't know what a team meeting was. I had not had one before.
California has an integrated core practice model, and it established that we had to have an approach to the work that we do with our children and families. The core practice model is integral in the efforts to ensure that all agencies work together when serving children and families. It helps to ensure that there are culturally relevant and trauma-informed systems of care. If we all come together around a child and family and we're able to have different perspectives and always use the voice of the child and family, determine what those needs are, what services need to be brought in, what services can be dropped away. As the branch director, being able to follow up with the social worker and the social worker supervisor was the first thing. And so we just sat down and had a meeting and really discussed what was happening with Chris's case, ensuring that we have a foundation where we show respect, where we're able to make connections, where we're able to follow through on our work that we have to do, about making sure that there was open lines of communication with all the children on his caseload, returning phone calls or text messages, and that really does relate back to our integrated core practice model.
When I saw Diana at Chris's CFTs, I thought it was pretty cool. This is a very talented and very well-established leader in our children's welfare systems, and she was facilitating for one kid. Like, it wasn't her job description. I just saw her going out of her way to care for a kid that she just developed a relationship with, and it was pretty neat.
I appreciate that there were people that couldn't meet Chris where he was at in different spaces that we might not have been able to see eye to eye. And even if we didn't always agree with the solutions that people came up with, that makes that team aspect really valuable, where people can have different perspectives and they can make people feel heard.
These CFTs, the child family team meetings, they truly provide a safe space where the vulnerable can be vulnerable and they can communicate and they can be heard.
Giving us a place to talk and interpret interactions between us so that we could understand, and that was really valuable. And I felt like that was the main thing that happened when we met with Diana and we talked with Child Family Team.
I do value that he had a space to relate to people that were different than us.
I think after the first few CFTs, it was really helping. We were communicating more effectively. Even if we weren't always on the same side or the same page, it was just nice to be able to be heard and to listen and see my parents want the best for me.
The teaming behaviors for Chris's case was really the opportunity to have the child and family team meetings. The fact that all team members came together and got on the same page and increased communication and everybody worked in the same direction, it was really important.
Brad and Becky have created a culture of working hard, pursuing excellence, honesty, and true family culture. I needed that. I needed to know that other people were there to support me. I think it'd be really hard to imagine life without them. I don't think I could have done it alone.
Tarjeta final, Departamento de Servicios Sociales de California. Visítenos en www.cdss.gov.